Welcome, everybody, to It Tastes Different Gaming News. What's in the news today? Cheaters going to cheat, but we're going to catch them for cash. All right. Escape from Tarkov plans to counter cheating by giving in-game currency to players who successfully report opponents who are a little too good at the game. Escape from Tarkov is stepping up anti-cheating game and toxicity efforts by giving out in-game currency in the event of a successful ban. In the Extraction Shooter's latest patch notes, developer Battlestate Games dedicated a section to compensation for reporting players who violated game rules. In these notes, the dev confirms that players will receive in-game currency compensation after the report that led to the blocking of the violator. It doesn't say how much you're going to get, but you'll get a little something, something. So essentially, Nick's going to cheat on Pat. Pat's going to be upset, and he's going to report Nick for being a cheater and probably saying something that violated his feelings. And Pat's going to get some bling bling currency for it. That's what this whole thing's supposed to do. Now, as longtime gamers, we all know how gamers can be and how, let's just say, vengeful we can be as well. So, unfortunately, this type of story has been repeated over and over by other developers and their anti-cheating schemes to try to thwart cheaters and people who are basically not nice online. So let's go to Nick and find out what Nick thinks about this program, how he feels it's going to work. Is it going to work? Is it going to be taken advantage of? Is chocolate better than vanilla ice cream? All right, Nick, what you got, buddy?
Vanilla is better than chocolate.
You sick bastard.
When it comes to ice cream. I love vanilla ice cream. But anyway, so it'll be interesting to see. This could work in their favor and it could not, right? It just depends on how players take part in this and whether or not. I'm assuming there's probably a system already in place for people who report, that's not real reporting. So, the community managers, they're going to have to make sure to, review all these reports that come in. And then, of course, we don't know how much in-game currency that they're going to get for reporting these things happening, but it might help the community in reporting players. Because I think a lot of players, and I don't know this based on statistics or anything, I don't have any statistics in front of me that says, but I don't know how many people actually report other players doing bad stuff in games, right? Or cheating or various other things like that. Like I've played games where people are cheating or whatever the case may be, but I just don't report them because I don't really care that much, right? Not enough. I don't care enough to report them. So this may give people more incentive to watch for cheaters and report cheaters, or give them, if they've seen cheaters before and then they come across them again, to actually report them now that they're getting some sort of compensation for doing so. If this works out in Tarkov's favor and it works out for the community, this might be interesting for a lot of other games that have microtransactions or in-game currency to do something very similar with their groups, right? Because I think a lot of games, and again, I don't know this for sure, but I think a lot of games have that same problem I was talking about, is I think a lot of people just don't report because they don't want to go through the time or pace to do so. But if you're getting compensated for doing so, I think more people will be more apt to report wrongdoings than not, right? Because they know they'll get a compensation because they know someone is cheating or doing something like that, especially if they're interested in the game, right? So it might give people more incentive, but we'll just have to see how it works out for them. They'll definitely try this out and see how it goes. And like I said, if it's beneficial for them, then I would like to see other developers kind of take a similar approach, right? People like stuff. So if you compensate them for doing something, they're going to that gives them more incentive to do it. than if you're just like, please do this. And then they're like, nah, that's all right. But if you're like, hey, we'll give you something if you do it, then they'll be like, oh, okay. Well, then I'll do that. So, yeah, it might be good, maybe bad. Again, we don't really know, but it'll be interesting to see how it turns out. Pat, what do you think?
I hope their moderators got good night rest, got some vacation time in before this is in effect, because they're going to be combing through a lot of reports. If they're not using some automated program, and I hope they're not, because something like that really needs a human set of eyes, right, to investigate and do that. Because if you're just letting an automated, bot handle it, we all know how appeals processes can work online. We'll get to you when we get to you. We banned you, or we did whatever to you, but we'll report back to you in 7 days. But your ban's only 3 days, or whatever, or permaban, or whatever. So, and I would like to see the statistic numbers on how many increase of reporting do they get. Right? Did it go from 10 reports a day to 100, et cetera, 100 to 1,000? And out of those reporting, what percentage of those reports actually basically resulted in a ban of another player? And like Nick had said, do they track repeat offenders of people who report people are cheating when they're not cheating, just because that person may suck or whatever? I'd like to see those kind of numbers, but probably what'll more likely happen is if it's successful, we won't hear anything else about it. If it's unsuccessful, they'll just quietly turn it off in some patch notes or something, or make an announcement. Well, we're no longer doing the cheater bounty program. We lost too much money, or, because game like Tarkov is a paid for game. It's not free to play. And then you pay for the microtransaction. So they're a little double dipper, in that aspect, but, so they rely on those continuous player counts to keep buying stuff from their item shop, or, and that's probably where the majority of their money comes from these days, instead of brand new players buying into the system, right? So, at some point, they probably, to appease their overall fan base, they need to get rid of cheaters. But at the same time, if the more people they get rid of, the more money they probably ultimately lose with new skins and things like that, because their audience shrinks and shrinks and shrinks until you've gotten rid of all the cheaters, which are whatever percentage. I don't know what it is. But to me, I'm like, I can see this being a good thing. I can see it being a bad thing. Just depends on where they end up at the end of the day. Did they increase their reporting count by 100% or 50% or 500 or 1,000%, and their ban count didn't really change, or has just gone up slightly on the number of players getting banned and things like that? But it is what it is in that aspect. I mean, anything to try to encourage people to report cheaters is probably a good thing, because I know in my own experience, I don't typically report anybody. I'm just like, whatever. I'm not very good at these games, and I'm like, I get killed a lot, but sometimes you can obviously tell when people are cheating. And that's about the only time I actually have reported somebody, was just because they kept griefing me or whatever, but you could tell they're cheating because they're shooting around the corner before you even come around the corner. And you're like, how do they know I was there? Or they're shooting at a wall. I'm on the other side of it. And I'm like, how did you know I was there? I was crouched, hiding. You didn't see me, obviously. And they're just like, oh, they saw your outline or their box or whatever for cheating. So, that's about the only time I've ever really done it. For the most part, I'm just like, blow it off and move on. Because like I said, I'm not very good at these games, and I don't need, I'm just bad. I enjoy playing with these guys, and that's why I play. The other aspect of it is, why would you? I don't know what cheaters get out of this, because you're playing a game that the overall concept of this game is longevity. So I can get more crap, titles, skins, et cetera, and I'm building up this account all for the risk of me getting it banned, right? If you spent thousands of dollars or hundreds of dollars on this game and then get your account banned because you cheated, what good did that do you? And on the other aspect, what does cheating gain you? There's no gratification or satisfaction, right? Because you didn't do the work to get the higher kill ratios in each map, or the most kills, or to get on some leaderboard. You didn't do it. Some program did it for you because you sucked so much that you couldn't get on there yourself. So what kind of gratification are you getting? I think most of that's probably from people who are they enjoy griefing people in real life or causing drama, because that's about all they do, right? That's probably the type of people that they're doing this anyway. But at the same time, why risk getting your account that you spent hundreds or thousands of dollars on banned? Stupid. Makes no sense to me. But a lot of people do stuff that is just weird and doesn't make sense. So everybody's different, but at the same time, any anti-cheating mechanism, in my opinion, is a good thing. So yeah, Shane, what do you think, man? I mean, sounds like a could go back, could be good for them or could backfire in their face, right?
I think we all know that I hate cheaters, and I'm okay with violence towards. So that's just me. I hate cheaters. I think they're sad and pathetic people. You're not cheating just yourself. You're cheating people. You're taking away the enjoyment and experience for them, and that's pathetic and cowardly. And I think you should have your knuckles cracked by a very hairy armed nun. It's pathetic and ridiculous. I do like that. I do like that developers like this are continuing to try to clamp down on cheats and things like that. I think if you're desperate enough to buy a device or pay a monthly subscription for this kind of stuff, you've got some mental inaccuracies going on with yourself. You need to be fixed, because it's like you said, you're risking losing all that money that you've dropped into something. All your Fortnite skins, or all your Call of Duty skins, or all your Tarkov skins and guns and weapons and all that. It's not worth it. You could just try to get better, but there's always going to be somebody better than you, and it's okay. You do not have to be the absolute best. You don't have to be that guy. But more people need to be punished for their cheatings. More of these companies should be, shut down for creating devices that are they're designed. They'll say they're for A, but they're for B. They're for cheating. It's like you can buy credit card skimmers online through Amazon because they call it something else. No, it's a thieving device. That's all it is. So call it what it is. Get it off the market. And it's nice to see, but I am concerned about the gamers taking advantage of it. Gamers trying to use it to punish people just because they got their butt kicked. That happens a lot. People get mad, because they're not as good as others. So they want to punish them for being good. It's a slippery slope. But it's worth taking the risk to stop the cheaters, because I would rather lose just because I'm not as good as somebody else than to lose because this guy paid $9.99 a week for his freaking cheating. It's pathetic. But it's an expensive industry too, so somebody's making money on it. But you guys got anything else? Nick, you're in the dark like a spy, about ready to leap out and jump out and catch a cheater there. So there you go. All right. Well, you made it to the end. Let us know. Do you hate cheaters? Do you think they should have their knuckles cracked by a hairy armed nun? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Do you think we should have some sort of legislation to stop cheating devices and such? Because I do. Also, hit the notifications, hit those subscriptions, because those help us. Those give us hope and positivity for the next episode. And until next time, see ya.